Well, there it is, guys. Starting to snow. What do you think about that, Gage? Time to get out of here? No, not yet. Here we go. First snowfall of the season. And I just happen to be out in it.
Alright, good morning guys on Frequented World. 7 a.m. and that's what the yard looks like. That tells me metal detecting season is almost over.
3 degrees and raining. No wonder I haven't been metal detecting in a month. Okay, we're gonna make our way into the colonial spot here, guys. Try to cover some new ground this morning. Probably the last outing of the season for this spot. And we'll see if we can find some nice 300-year-old artifacts. Okay, an eighth of a mile before where we usually start finding stuff. I've broken off into the bush and I'm just trying to make a new way here. Here's an old shell casing. Also, I'm not going to run the Equinox in auto ground balance anymore. I'm just going to manually ground balance it once when I start and run it. I found that worked the best for the cruiser and I'm just going to try it. I don't know. I don't like the idea that it's balancing all the time. How do you know it's not balancing when there's you're over a nail bed and stuff? So we're going to take that right out of the equation. Well, I don't know what it is, but it's big. We're down there a foot. Was ringing up 22, 23. Looks like to be part of an exhaust pipe that's been crushed flat. But it was down there deep, so I don't know. Well, that's an old Dominion cartridge, probably from the 40s. Definitely not colonial. So the nice thing about this time of year is the ferns are all dead, so I can just trample these all down and detect this clearing. I don't think there's anything here, but I'm going to try it anyway. Well, today is the day of the shell, I guess. This one's in really nice shape, so I would guess it's not as old. I have never heard of this brand before. What does that say? Elonia. Elonia shell. 12. I'm gonna have to research that when I get home. Etonia? That must be an Italian shell. Etonia, only what you don't miss. I have Italian friends, so that's okay. Wow, look at that. Neolithic spear point right there, guys. You should have seen the shaft that was attached to. That there is for taking out your Tyrannosaurus Rex, I believe, back in the day. So I'm running the new iron bias settings here with the 11-inch coil today. And I had a real hard time hitting on that in field 2. I could just get a little scritch. It didn't want to tell me there was something there, but I knew there was, so I dug it. And it's an iron staple, fence staple. So the staple came out of there, and then right there we got some barbed wire. So at some point there was an old fence that ran through here. So here's one. There's a root right here, and I remember this spot. John and I were here before, and he dug something crummy out, and we just left the rest of what was there. I don't know. And it was coming in solid 14 here, so without the dog running beside it. There it is, 14. Okay, so let's just dig it up and see what it was. That was months ago, so let's see what John neglected to take home. Well, a little piece of wire, but I don't think that would be it. I was getting a better signal than that, I would think. Let's take the detector and check some more. Yeah, that's it. Another little piece of wire. It looks like it might have been razor wire off of a fence. Score one for Johnny being smart enough to walk away. So we're just off the water here, and that to me looks like a piece of wire that would have been used for trapping, maybe hanging furs on, because it's got this loop on here, and then you would snag that around the foot of your muskrats or whatever. That's what I'd have to say that was. Could be wrong, could be anything, but I do have a trapping license. I used to trap back in the day when I was a kid. My dad and my grandfather were trappers, and I'd say that that's what that is. So as you guys can see, there's a ton of brush here, lots of bush. And if you look closely, there's the ridge line. Right there is where I found the 2 trade arrows, iron trade arrows. And we're gonna switch up to the 6-inch coil because I got a lot of brush to move through here and I wanna go over it really good. So time to get the new 6-inch and put it to work. I really should have had this coil on right from the start of this hunt, really. There's so much bush that I've been through this morning, clanging and banging around. I mean, even the 6-inch can still get caught on stuff. But it can go places that the 11-inch just isn't going to go. Like right there, in between those trees. So this is the place to use the little 6-inch coil. And hopefully we find something with it today. It's got to start paying for itself here. I heard that Mine Lab is now, of course, because Gary bought this 2 weeks ago, giving away the 6-inch coil with the purchase of the 600 or 800 Equinox. So everybody out there, you're welcome. Absolutely, I believe that is because I purchased the 6-inch coil 2 weeks ago. So that's Gary's luck, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Finally, I've got something here. 16. No iron signal at all in there. And we're right in that brush pile where I stopped and said we had to change coils. So that was a good decision. I don't even have anything to say about that. This is after 3 hours of detecting. He's still running up and down the trail and tearing everything he can get his teeth into. You haven't been out of the house in 3 days, eh? Oh well, he'll sleep good tonight. This is where some people would tell me I need another dog. And I say, no effing way. This one has more energy than I want to put up with. Let's see you do that 11-inch coil. Not gonna happen. Look at that, thing of beauty. I'm gonna just stay here for an hour and do that. Well, I'd rather have snow than rain, I guess, so it could be worse. So for the last hour, I've been swinging the 6-inch coil, and for 45 minutes of that, I wished I had more coil to swing. So I don't know what to think, if this was a bad purchase for me or what. It's just not doing the things I wanted it to do. So far, I've dug a handful of rusty nails and wire with it today. That's it. All ringing up 14, 15. Not great signals, but again, I don't know, it needs an update or something. I can't complain too loudly or my wife won't let me buy any more toys if I say that I wasted my money. So I'm loving it. Yeah, 6-inch coil. Best purchase ever. I might go home and buy another one. 6-inch coil, solid 16, no iron. No iron reading. Well, I'm sorry, but that's an iron can. Mine Lab, are you watching this? I don't know what kind of can that is. There's a star on there. Well, still out here in the middle of the forest. Man-made, no doubt. Not colonial, no doubt. I don't know what it is. So that actually is colonial, guys. That's 300 years old. I don't know what it is, piece of something. But we're back on the fort site. So right here is where the fort was. And that's why I know that's colonial. Okay. Here's something else. It could very well be an old button, an iron button. It's round. I'm gonna have to clean it up. Well, unfortunately there's no cleaning that up. It's just iron nodules. And I broke one of the nodules off. You can see the edge. I'm 95% sure that's an old iron button. Some of these had really fantastic hand-etched designs on them that we found here on this site. But this one's just too far gone. I can't do anything with it, unfortunately. Okay, so I just dug a square nail here, and I'm standing on the edge where it drops off. So the fort was up here, and then it drops down. And I got an 8. So I just scooped a handful of dirt, and I put it up here. Look at this. There's an old button. It's broken, but that's 250 years old. Let's see if there's a design on it. Nope, no design on that one, just a plain Jane. I can't tell. I don't think it's a drilled back. I'm not 100% sure on that. Oh, maybe it is. It looks rather square right there. That could be, you know, late 1700s. I found some British Engineer Corps buttons here from the 1790s, so who knows? Okay, so I'm still standing on that slope. You can't tell on the phone, but we got another signal right here. Definitely a button or something. Fantastic. 6-inch coil. You annoy me so bad. Now that's a real old, heavy-duty square nail, like square nail. So the two old buttons both rang up as 8s. And then that freaking square nail rang up a solid 18. You know, frustrating. Okay, there's the tip of my finger. Look at that little lead shot. It's about 3 millimeters across. Tiny, tiny. It took me 10 minutes to find that. Okay, so the 6-inch coil is banging out these tiny, tiny little lead balls. There's another one right there. They're coming up between 6 and 8 on the detector. However, the F-pulse is not having a good time finding them. I basically have to touch it to find it. The TRX would do a little better than that on these things because I've dug hundreds of them out of here. So it makes finding them extremely hard with the F-pulse. Yeah, the 6-inch coil is just killing me today on this site. Look at that for a little tiny square nail. Again, that's got a rose head on the top of it. That could go all the way back to 1700s. That's when this fort was first put in here. Probably about 1750, something like that. Super fine little nail. Look at that. You know what that is? I do. That's a 250-year-old fish hook. You can see the barb on this, on the right side. So obviously the shank is broken off of there, but there you can kind of see the barb. Well, there's my first real musket ball of the day. I found a bunch of those little tiny ones. This to me looks like pistol shot. It's not that big, so I mean, I'm not an expert, but we've found 3 sizes here. Little teeny ones like I showed you guys. These are the medium ones, and then the great big ones that would have been in the rifles. So I'm assuming this is pistol shot. Look at that. What is that, guys? That is so tiny and intricate. It's got like a little square nail hook on the bottom, but the top, I don't know what that is. Can anybody tell me what that is? That had to have a special purpose for something. There's no design on it. So, I don't know. That's bloomin' old though. So way down under the root pile here, right under that root, look at that fancy old handle off of something. I don't know what that would be for, but it's old. That root's got to be 5 inches around down there. So I've just made my way along the ridge here, and I saw something hanging in this tree. What is that? It's like an old film canister. I'm kind of afraid to open it. Somebody's geocache? It must be. Nobody's found this one in a while, I guarantee you. So, what do we got here? One rusty washer, a mushy candy from Wacky Wings, and I mean mushy, a marble, and a note. We're going to see if we can read the date the last person signed this. It's soaking wet. Well, we can't open it any more than that because it's just ripping, but we've got 01 December 12th. Looks like the very first date. And then at the bottom here, I could see February of 2017. So it's been a couple years since anyone has found this, and nobody's going to be able to sign that anymore. I will put everything back in there and hang it back up where it was. Well, on that note, guys, it's been 5 hours. Unfortunately, haven't found anything good at the colonial site or in this whole area today. We're going to call it quits, and we might get out again before the snow flies. No promises, though. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. So I just got home, and I'm putting the colonial stuff away here. And there's that little gidget that I found today with the square end on the bottom. And I found the top of one of those before. I didn't know what it was, and I saved it. And that's it right there. And if you look on the inside, you can see where the shank broke off. But I still don't know what these things are. So obviously they had a purpose, and they made lots of them, because I found two.